Facebook this morning, right? And there's something that Facebook's almost unlookable, almost unwatchable anymore. But you have friends, and I'm not going to be the person that gets rid of my friends just because they post things that are obviously absurd and far left and whatever. Like I'm not. If there's one thing, we'll just say the deep state. We'll just say it's the deep state. One thing the deep state wants is for us to hate each other. They want division, and I refuse to allow that to happen. But at the same time, we have the ridiculous posts that you see that people put up. And somebody, a good friend of mine, and I'm not even going to name him because I don't want to even do this, but put up the most ridiculous post I've seen recently. I'm going to read this to you. It says, and it's just words. It says, "Quick refresher on things that are bad." Then we have bullet points. And I think we should address every one of these bullet points in quick fashion, which I think you're uniquely suited for a lot of it. All right, here's your first one. Slavery. Things that are bad, right? Slavery.
That's my thought. Yes. Why are we still talking about slavery? Why are we still talking about slavery?
Right. We all know slavery's bad. If anything, the Americans and the British are the first people on the planet to actually abolish it. So I think we did a pretty good job there. Great. For-profit healthcare.
For-profit healthcare. What does that even mean?
Like, how it's rather than curing cancer, which we most likely have a cure for cancer, they bury the cure, make sure you're still in the machine getting your treatment because it's such a huge moneymaker.
Oh, no, I absolutely am a believer in a lot of our healthcare today has to do with taking care of symptoms and prolonging the sickness.
Right. So is this a right-wing thing that the Republicans do, that they're into for-profit healthcare?
I would think that the head of the Department of Health and Human Services is currently fighting Congress over trying to get rid of big pharma, so I would say no.
Bingo. All right, next one. Next bullet on things that are bad. Big oil destroying our planet.
Big oil destroying our planet. Now, if you want me to talk about that, big oil destroying our planet, I think that has to do with the fact that you have companies like ExxonMobil that are working directly with the deep state to do all sorts of awful things, and Chevron and that kind of stuff. Yeah, so big oil. Yeah,
sure, it's bad.
I think. Yeah, yeah.
But I would make the argument that we currently manufacture and process oil the cleanest on the planet. So I would think that the right wing and the left wing has done everything we can to make sure that if we're going to use oil, that it's as clean as possible and doing the least amount of destruction. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'm all in favor of trying to, that kind of goes into like a climate control thing. Like I'm in favor of taking care of our planet. Like when we were kids, if you think about when we were kids, remember like buses? They'd be driving down the road, and they would have those big black puffs of smoke coming out. I'm glad that that's gone. But the flip side to that is that I do drive a very nice, very fast car, and I don't mind paying for the 91. So oil is something that we need. So.
But I guarantee you that your car, as far as running 91, is running as efficiently and as cleanly as it most humanly possibly can. Right, but that's a tough one but either way, that's not a left-wing issue like going against the right. Like it's not like the right's trying to destroy the planet. So I'm trying to understand this meme. All right, next. This is my favorite, I think. Pedophilia and protecting pedophiles. This is an attack on the right.
Is this really an attack on the right? Because
the way it's posted, I'm going to say it's an attack on the right. I'm baffled, man.
Is the next thing going to be eating too much ice cream? Why are we stating obvious things here? This is ridiculous.
I think the implication is that Democrats fight pedophilia and trafficking, and Republicans are in favor of it.
Did you hear where a Clinton-appointed judge just blocked the Epstein files from being released?
That's the second one. Yeah, it's crazy, absolutely insane. But come on, let's look at the last 4 years and the amount of child trafficking that went on. And you tell me that's not pedophilia, sex trafficking?
Listen, I've been saying this over and over and over again. There's a case out of Guatemala. The amount of trafficking, what this country has done to Guatemala is despicable. There's a prosecutor in Guatemala who has been researching Save the Children and the allegations of Save the Children and their trafficking. And the reason why I know this guy is because all of the difficulties and all of the doxing and horrible things that are happening to this Guatemalan dude, because he's investigating Save the Children because they're potentially trafficking. Now, why am I saying that? Because Jill Biden is on the board, or at least she was as a year ago on the board of Save the Children.
So are you suggesting Save the Children, though it says Save the Children, it's really a sex trafficking ring?
Every single organization that has something like that, if it's the something something for peace, it's for war. If it's Save the Children, keep your kids away
Gotcha.
from it. If it's keep your dogs healthy, don't take your dogs there.
Yeah, right. So we know these things exist. We know it's run through our government in a lot of ways. But once again, I don't see the left wing trying to stop this. I do see our current DOJ listing off the arrest of child traffickers, or we found these missing children.
All of the people now who are complaining about saying that Donald Trump is a pedophile and all that, to just echo what you said, kept their mouth shut for 4 years when the border was open. What did they say? 300,000 kids went missing, and they assumed that they're all dead. Nobody said anything. They all voted for Biden, and they all voted for Kamala Harris, who would have kept those borders open. Because remember, they were saying, "Oh, it's going to take years to close the borders," and like he said, it didn't take years. It just took a new president. But the amount of child trafficking that happened in the last 4 years, and everybody was like this. And now that Trump's in office, now all of a sudden everyone's get out of town. This is ridiculous. What this list is telling me is that this person is very, very, very clearly steered by propaganda. What's the next one?
All right, next one. Billionaires buying elections. We only need to answer this with one word: Soros.
It is such an unbelievably transparent shot at Elon Musk. That's all that is. It's just a shot at Elon Musk. That's all he's doing.
Right, and you could argue that he definitely helped Donald Trump get elected.
Okay, I'm getting frustrated. How many people here believe that Donald Trump would have won without Elon Musk's $300 million? Yeah,
Unanimous vote. Right, so that's another ridiculous one. Here, you definitely want to field this one. Bombing civilians. I know where you're going. Go for it.
Bombing civilians. Bombing civilians. Are you talking about, where I'm going with Obama drone striking Americans?
I'm like waiting for you to say it.
Yeah, kid was a teenager. It's like, well, his dad was a terrorist, so sorry, kid. No, that's not how it works.
Right. The only thing that I know, the only bombing of civilians from our government that I'm aware of is that incident you're referring to. So I have no idea how that attacks the right. I don't even get it. Do you have any idea where they're coming from?
No, I have no idea. I have not. Next, are they going to talk about putting people in cages?
Kinda. It says for-profit prisons. I don't even get that one. What's a for-profit prison that's promoted by any party?
Okay, so I don't know how that's a right wing thing, but that's definitely, if you listen, who talks about that a lot is Ice Cube.
Okay.
Ice Cube talks about for-profit prisons. So what do you have? So it seems like the intelligence community works in cahoots with big business. What they're saying is that the CIA in the 80s helped to bring on and grow gangster rap. Ice Cube talks about this. I've heard about this independent of Ice Cube, but Ice Cube talks about this. And what he said is gangster rap was there designed specifically to create a violent culture to push kids into these prisons, that these for-profit prisons were, they benefit from that. So, that's where that comes from.
All right, let's just go on to the next one because that one's ridiculous. Denying equal and legal rights. This is a uniquely Republican thing. We definitely deny people of their equal and legal rights.
The more this guy's talking, the more I can't disagree with what he's saying. But if it's being pointed in one direction, that's utterly ridiculous.
That's the implication I took from the post. How many people didn't have the opportunity to work because of DEI hires? How many choices were made because we decided to reverse engineer segregation and decide to no, we need to choose somebody on the color of their skin rather than the content of their character or their ability to do the job.
Yeah, well, the thing is that there's a lot of culture that isn't a fan of a merit-based system. Because of the implication of systemic racism, and the implication of systemic racism is great for the cause.
Yeah, the last one on the list, um, of quick refresher on things that are bad. Denying bodily autonomy. Now we know where we're going with that. Oh, they took abortion away, which Donald Trump did not. Someone independently brought a case to the Supreme Court and they ruled on it because Roe v. Wade was not exactly the most ironclad decision ever made. But I would argue in the opposite. You have to get a vaccination. You have to stay in your job.
And that's the thing that I said to people. As a matter of fact, I actually argued with a woman one time. She was talking about how vaccinations should be required, and I told her this isn't fair. My body, my choice. And then she turned around, looked at me legitimately, and said, "Well, I hope you feel that way about abortion." And I'm like, "Lady, why? Like, I specifically used my body, my choice because it's abortion, because I know that's your phrase." And she just couldn't even get it. She couldn't even
Right.
understand.
Yeah, that's the brainwashing from propaganda you were referring to in the first place. Everyone seems to forget that the modern Republican Party is made up of people of Gen X, strongly made up of Gen X. And we all grew up with abortion rights. And I never knew anybody that was so strongly against it. Like, even if they didn't believe it in it themselves, they'd be like, well, that's my decision to make. You make your decision.
I'm willing to bet that 99% of the people that are arguing in favor of abortions will never have an abortion. And of the other 1% that's left, how many of them is it going to be some type of a health situation versus birth control, basically?
So overall, I see stuff like this. It's almost why I can't be on Facebook anymore, because stuff like this pops up all the time. It's a ridiculous meme. It's a picture of Donald Trump, I don't know, popping a cork. And they're like, oh, he's hanging out with Epstein. Whatever stupid thing that they make up. Where does this propaganda come from? How do people believe it? Like, the people that I know that I grew up with that should think like me buy this stuff at face value, and it has zero credible information in it.
Whoever controls the internet has the power. So the real fight for power right now is the control of the internet.